The U.S. Congress has passed and the president has signed the CARES Act. The vote came in the U.S. House of Representatives on Friday, March 27th, just 2 days after it passed the U.S. Senate. And it wasn't without a little bit of drama because the members of the House are at home. They had to do a roll call vote, and that had some procedural hiccups along the way, but it is a done deal, and the president has signed it. The CARES Act stands for Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act. It's about $2.2 trillion in stimulus. The purpose is to revive the economy impacted by the coronavirus and to stave off a deep recession because of the consequences of the virus. Lots of unemployment, lots of businesses closed, and lots of families struggling right now as they try to make ends meet. President Trump signed the legislation Friday in an afternoon ceremony in the Oval Office. This is seen as the largest emergency aid package in U.S. history. Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi acknowledged that the bill wasn't perfect, but she said hopefully it was sufficient for the time being, adding that she does understand that more must be done. Now, what's in the legislation? Stimulus in the form of emergency relief, but also some support to individuals and small businesses. Direct payments to most American households that are under $99,000 a year in income, expanded unemployment benefits, federally guaranteed loans to small businesses, government lending programs, and then aid to hospitals on the front line of the epidemic, and some emergency assistance programs to both seniors and children. There are some coverage tweaks coming out of this package, different from the Families First Coronavirus Response Act that we saw just a short week ago. The coverage pieces that are in this bill are quite limited, but they still do make some corrections and changes to what we've seen in the last couple of weeks. There is expanded coverage for diagnostic testing in private health insurance plans. This builds on some of the language we first saw in that Coronavirus Response Act. It extends the testing that would be covered without cost sharing, and it also broadens the definition just a little of who is considered uninsured. Now, there are some limited provisions that actually address surprise medical bills, but a lot of people argue they don't go far enough. But there's something. There's some transparency language, but it might not be enough to keep costs down. There are some rules about what kind of prices must be disclosed with the hope that just by disclosing them, it would create a little bit of competition and keep the prices down. People say it has yet to be seen if that's actually going to happen. There's also nothing in there to guarantee that the provider or the facilities won't surprise or balance bill a consumer after some plans have paid an agreed to cash price. So there's a little concern that the language just really doesn't go far enough to make sure people aren't caught off guard with surprise bills or balance bills if they do go through treatment or even testing for coronavirus. But there is also language that extends the access to testing and a vaccine if a vaccine is ever developed. And it does cross a broad spectrum of coverage programs, including Medicare. And this was language that was intended to definitely clarify what came out of that Coronavirus Response Act that happened earlier. It specifically lists Medicare Part B plans and Advantage plans that would definitely cover a vaccine, again, if it becomes available, without cost sharing. So a little bit more attention paid to coverage this time around in the stimulus bill, but as both the House and Senate acknowledged, still more to be done if we're going to try to get through this national emergency in solid shape. We do link to the copy of the bill in the description below. We also share with you a couple other resources that are timely, some news coverage of this event, and other comments coming out of the U.S. House of Representatives.